Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to the podcast brought to you by the Anouvue Collective, where we're going to talk about everything film related, from script to screen and anything else in between. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Anouvue Podcast. I'm Randy Richards, Randall, but you can call me Randy. We have Kevin online, and of course, we have the one and only Adjani Salmon. Thank you, Adjani, for joining us. And I'm going to do the little intro. So I'm going to drop the little intro, but Adjani is a long-time virgin of mine, and so many other things. But I will start with just a little preamble. So Adjani is a Jamaican-born, British-based writer, director and actor. He is the co-creator of, and the star of the BAFTA-winning series Dreaming Whilst Black. It's a hit comedy drama about an aspiring filmmaker navigating the film industry. And Adjani won the 2022 BAFTA Awards for Emerging Talent Fiction for the Dreaming Whilst Black pilot. And the show has since grown from a web series into a critically acclaimed BBC and A24 series, television series. Just wrapping up its second season in late last year. Today we want to talk, just kind of focus not so much on what happens in the episodes, go watch the show. We're going to focus on Adjani's personal and creative journey. We want to explore his upbringing in Jamaica, his path from studying architecture, if someone who never know that, to becoming a filmmaker, and pretty much how he brought Dreaming Whilst Black to life. And the conversation will essentially cover all facets of his work, writing, acting, hopefully developing projects, and diving into the industry topics that he's passionate about. So, Adjani, before we get into the work, I just wanted to you to just start with describing, where are you right now creatively and personally?
Well, first of all, blessed for having me on, you know what I mean? Obviously. We reason all the time, but it's good to do this online.
Yeah.
Where I am creatively, I don't know. I feel at this point, I feel not free, but I feel, there's a certain level of freedom that I feel like I have now. 2 seasons deep, 2 successful seasons deep, is not something that many shows get a chance to do. Is not something that many shows get a chance to do and do well. We give thanks 2 seasons. We don't know what 1 3-star be all now. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we're grateful. Like doors open. So it's just what's the outside of doing it again is what is the next frontier? Like what's the next challenge? What's the next genre, the next, you know what I mean? But just kind of open. That's what I know, where I feel like before it felt like a lot. Before it felt like a lot was riding on Dreaming Whilst Black success in terms of success. Like I need it. It's like, this is my break. Whereas now I can't say, I'm kind of bust. Like, know. You know what I mean? Really stressed again.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool, bro. I mean, so much has happened since then, that, it honestly, that is the best way to frame it. But I guess before we go back into some more of the past, we don't want, if somebody asks you, what you do, what answer, really feel true to you? How would you describe it? Because I know you wear so much hats, then I know, before we go into the past of then, when somebody asks you that, how would you even describe or start to describe that?
Oh, it's simple. I'm a filmmaker. It's filmmaker. It's a weird one for me because I feel like filmmaker used to be a term that kind of meant you have a 5D or something that you kind of just run and gun, do all the jobs kind of vibe. And, when it's like, oh, I'm a director, it feels like, you're working, you know what I mean? But I am a multi-hyphenate. And I think that each title is a storyteller within itself. And all of them are filmmakers. So I would just describe myself as a filmmaker. You can choose whichever title you want to put on that.
Yeah. No, feel that. I feel that. I mean, I feel like in today's world, there's another term. I know back then they used to call it Renaissance man. There's a new term for it. A lot of times we call it like multi-hyphenate. And I feel
Right.
like maybe today's world of like us being engaged through multiple avenues of touch points, whether it is in our own content consumption world or our content creation world, we're always just trying to divide ourselves into multiple things, not because we're trying to spread ourselves too thin, but because we're required to do way more than the yesteryear when the parents could have just only be lawyer alone or doctor alone or this person. No, you have to be right on.
Everything informs everything. I think that's also a big misconception, in the sense that me becoming an actor helped me become a better writer. Me becoming a writer helped me become a better director. Like all the things, me becoming a showrunner helped me become a better all the things again, because it's all different avenues of storytelling, but through different lenses. And for example, the way in which I would dissect a script as a director changes the way I write, because I know that I'm not like, I don't direct my own. I don't direct Dreamhouse Black. But I want the director do what me want him to do. So I have to find ways of writing in a way that says to him, like, give me the close up without saying close up. I'm gonna just delete it. You know what I'm saying? Equally, as an actor as well, like the way actors break down scripts is completely different. The whole writers and directors break down scripts. You get me? What I found, especially season 2 coming in, is, write the script, everything good. I start prepping with my acting coach. I would be like, but that scene and it make no sense. Because I look on it now from an acting brain.
Yeah.
And now I have to kind of go back and be like, all right, right. So as an actor, this don't make no sense. As a writer, I understood why I did this. But like, how we can make this make sense to an actor, but also fulfill the requirements of the scene as a writer. You see what I'm saying? So it's storytelling, bro. So I feel like even if a director doesn't act or doesn't write or doesn't do anything else, it's worth him or them, understanding the discipline of it. Like, unless you know what it's like to stand in front of that camera and have somebody tell you, "Oh yeah, just do it more." Like, no, talk about, bro. You get me? Like, so even being an actor has helped me become a better director by understanding the vulnerability that actors have and the sensitivity that actors have. So when I'm now directing, I'm now like, right, so like, may I read the scene and I say, boy, if I was doing, I could tell that this is, so let me deal with them like this. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it all of the things inform each other. So I think this idea of doing one thing, I think, is quite a limiting concept.
So 2 things. The first thing I'll talk about is, you write, essentially you show run on Dreamhouse Black and you act. So when it comes to wearing multiple hats and then transitioning into those different roles, I see we're in a previous interview, you talked about how you kind of manage those roles in the writing stage, being on set when it's time to act, and then just kind of managing the production when changes need to be made. How would you, for our audience, how would you describe and talk about like what that process is like for you, going from each one of those hats and wearing those multiple hats strongly throughout the production?
Well, like, it's funny that they call it hat, because like a hat, you don't really wear more than one hat at the same time. You know what I mean? Okay, you kind of look stupid. So equally at the same thing, like, I don't wear multiple hats at the same time because the conversation is just different. Like, so for most of the time in development, I'm just writing. I'm gonna start write. I'm in a business. Sometimes when I write scene, woman know say, I'm like, probably not gonna film this, but whatever. It work. You know what I mean? Boom. And then it's only when we now get to pre-production and they're like, right, so you have to cut like 15 characters, like 12 locations. That's now the exec, the showrunner had now jump on, and me and Ali will sit down and be like, right, which scene can actually get cut and still do what we want it to do? Or like, we only have enough money for extras here or here. Which one we want? Cool. We want the club. So we're going to set the next scene in our house or something. Like, those are exact decisions. You see what I'm saying? And then I guess the writing had his last, where then it's scene breakdowns, all that kind of stuff. But then, so it's always, again, pre-production, definitely my swap out hats within a day. You know what I mean? But generally, I try to be like one at a time. On the other occasion, I was on set where one scene but again, talking about earlier, we talk about actors dissect scenes different. There was a scene which me and Ali never love. We never love it, but I'm like, I did the job, yeah, man. Like, you get us from A to B as a life goal. Let's just keep it moving. And the first thing the actress come and said, she was like, "Hey, Johnny, like, me not get that scene, yeah. Like, what is?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to explain." And she said, "Yeah, I'm gonna say that, but
nah.
Yeah, me not understand like what we are trying to do. Like, this are the only scene what don't make no sense to me." And immediately she spotted. And it was like, right, why it don't make no sense? And from then, actor had gone, because it's like, this actor is not going to she's like, I can't say the lines, but I'm just saying, like, feel right to me. Cool. Boom, writer hat on. Yo, Ali, forward. Let's figure this thing out, because like, we need to film this scene in like 30 minutes. So, you know what I mean? And figure it out. So you just have to be flexible, I would say. You have to be flexible, but I try to very much be disciplined, and by the time we get on set, trusting that the hours that we've put in finessing these scripts make sense.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Yeah, I guess I've never really thought of it that way, as it relates to wearing multiple hats, because you really don't wear multiple hats one time.
Yeah.
You end up having just kind of tasks between each exclusively, and wear the one that's most needed at whatever period of time. But you can't, if you try wear all of them one time, you're going to look like idiot.
One of the things that I want to know, Adjani, when did you decide that you wanted to be the main character in Dreaming Whilst Black? Like, when you wrote it, did you just say, "Oh, I want to write something for me to star in," or was it a case of necessity where you're like, "I just can't find the right character for this, so I have to play the character"?
Yeah. Look, again, I've always loved filmmaking. My degree is in directing. That's what I like, though. I like the concept. I like juggling the actors and the thing, and the negotiation, and with the cameraman and everything. I love that. I love that. I love the energy of being on set with the time crunch of getting the story within the day. But I'm a director. I was a director who nobody would give scripts to. So I wrote scripts in order to direct my own stuff. And subsequently, when I wrote Dreaming Whilst Black, I wrote it not thinking about myself at all. Just like, I'm just write a web series, because at the time, it just feel like, say, that I pop off right now. Web series are the lick, so I'm just write one. And it's only when it came to like, all right, cool, we need to start like film this. It was like, right, so who will cast? And it's like, wait, but how much you have to go pay them? And it's at that point, I was like, well, me free, so I guess it's me then. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And yeah, so that was it really. That was it. It wasn't out of like a dream to like, oh, this is my moment. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like that. Like I love the craft of act. I've grown to love the craft and respect the craft of acting now, but it was never that. It was never that.
And then my follow-up question now, because in my head when I saw the web series, I kind of thought it was that where it's like, all right, who do I find to play this? And you decide, all right, I'm gonna play it. But then I wondered to myself, when the show actually got picked up now, was it a situation where you were thinking, all right, now to find somebody to play this part, or was a situation where everybody was like, dude, everybody loves you in the role, so you need to just continue it? Like, did you want to get rid of that hat, or did you want to keep that hat, or other people had to tell you to keep that hat?
No, to be honest, I feel like so. I remember an early conversation I had, and this is before the show even got picked up. Because obviously, again, I wanted to direct, right? And they were like, "Look, there's no way you're going to be able to do the three things. You can't write,
Mhm.
direct, and act at the same time.
Right.
Like, cool.
Yeah.
So I chose two. They're like, you can write and act, or write and direct. You know what I mean? But directing and acting just not like you can't manage the pressure there.
Yeah.
And so like, oh, so choose which one you would want to do. And I said, you know what, I want to write and act. And them look for me shocked. They're like, yo, like, why?
Why not pick direct? Yeah.
And I was like, because you don't know who direct Awkward Black Girl. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, who knows? We don't know if it was Issa Rae who did it. But we know who Issa Rae is.
That's true.
You know
That's true.
And so I think from early on, I understood the power of branding. And not to say that you can't be, like, obviously those are directors who are brands. Like Chris Nolan is a brand. Ryan Coogler is a brand. There are those are directors who are brands.
Yeah.
But at the time, it just felt right that, yo, actually, we need to stay out front and make people really know who me be. Because that just feel like there was the most exposure there was the most currency in exposure at that time.
Okay. Wise and bold decision.
Nice. Don't get me wrong, you know, them, it's funny, they never auditioned me, but you could have tell them try audition me in a sense, like, even sometimes when we were auditioning other actors, they'd like give the other actor a note and then give me a note. And I'm like, but I'm not audition, so why we need to change how me I perform? Like, yeah. And I was made aware, like, they did low-key make me aware when we were doing the pilot. They were like, look, like, we actually think this script is great. If this pilot does not look good, is not good, you will be the only factor who's not been tested. So like, there is a world where they might say, actually, we love the show, but he is not strong enough to lead it. So make sure just make sure so you can carry this. You get me? Yeah. So yeah, don't get me wrong. I've had an acting coach since. Me used to go acting classes, acting workshops, all of the thing. Like, me never take that lightly. You know what I mean? Like, and even now, more so doing it 2 seasons in a row. I would argue that number one on the call sheet is a head of department. Like your DOP, like your director, like your production designer. Number one is the head of casting, because on set, everybody feed off your energy. So if you come and your vibes broke, everybody gonna say, but you know, dog, well, Johnny this thing must mash up because him. You know what I mean? Or if I'm not giving 100%, other actors will be like, well, I joke thing this, because if my man not try, what may I waste my time I do? You know what I mean? So it's something that I'm not take likely that I do that.
Good perspective. I have one side question before I go back to some of the past stuff. That's a big ass water bottle, bro. My gosh. Stay hydrated. What's the temperature like there over there now?
Huh?
What's the temperature like over there? Is it winter time still?
Yeah, winter, so I'll probably like, I don't know, like, 7 degrees.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah.
we experienced our 15 degrees temperature in Jamaica
Yeah,
recently.
man. Me hear say everybody a blizzard out there.
Listen to me, man. Blizzard out. Jacket aware, a full suit aware. Everybody,
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man. But but we continue. So I want to ask that, like, since you've had so much success now with Jimmy Was Black, and you even you were in a Doctor Who. I said,
Yeah.
get sure. The episode, like, has success in all of those ways, especially with Dreaming Was Black, has it clarified your voice, or do you feel like it's complicated it?
No, I think I've been sharpening my voice. That's the thing about, like, it's doing different things. You just need to kind of have the awareness to know, okay, I like this, I didn't like that. Oh, this is interesting. Let me add that. This is not interesting, so I'm gonna just take this for the experience and go. But I've definitely been refining my voice, I think, and evolving my voice. There's a Martinique philosopher, Edward Glissant, who talks about, like, the need for globality, not globalization. And in the sense that you can learn from other people without losing your own identity. And I think artistically, that is also true, where I can go into, like, a sci-fi world, and like that's a family-friendly kid sci-fi world, and be in that structure and be like, right, this is completely different, but actually this and this kind of makes sense. So like I started that over here, so, and you know what I mean. So I think it's just sharpened my voice and made me think about who am I and what do I have to offer as an artist separate to what everybody else is offering. So I think it's definitely harnessed that. And that's the beauty of concert. That's the beauty of working, is that you get the opportunity to keep finding yourself.
My team. All right, cool. Welcome back, Kevin. I love in the studio setup. Nice and easy and smooth. So let's step back. So we're going to step back a little bit into some of your past before we go back into some of the present and the future. And, when you grew up in St. Elizabeth, I know you spent some of your early childhood in London too. In some of my interviews, I still recalling how important it has been to grow up in a Black majority society, and how there's like no concept of a ceiling and what, you could become. So I wanted you to kind of step back into that past, talk about what it was like growing up, bring us into the world. What was it like, getting that first camera, the 4-megapixel camera, and filming with your cousin, filming with something there, veggie them and things. So talk about what was it like growing up in Jamaica, and talk about your early influences that kind of led you into filmmaking and what that really meant to you as a young man growing up in Jamaica.
I think there's something that we as Jamaicans kind of take for granted on a global level, is like the freedom of being Black, or Black not having an actual definition. You know what I mean? It's like everybody at Jamaica say, yeah, we're Black and we're proud and we're rah. But that don't mean oppression to we. Like it just means dark skin color. And then, but that fact, it never mean dark skin color because once fire splash, you're in a Black. You might be a brownie, but you're Black. You know?
You're Black, yeah.
And it's only until you leave that you get that you're like, oh, this is what it means to them, man. Like, this is like it mean oppression to these man. Like, to be Black in America, to be Black in the UK, Europe, is like not a societally good thing. Or it means that people will put expectations on you. So like even coming to England and realizing, like seeing like my little cousins in school and they might push them for the athletics. And it's like, but why? The man they might get A-star in a month.
Yeah.
Feel like send them for play football. You know what I mean? Just things like that. We never grew up with that. So I had the freedom to dream, to imagine. You know what I mean? Within limitations, because again, like I had a 4 megapixel camera in second form, but the third form career day, no teacher never look around and say, you know, you should really look into the visual arts. No. Like,
you know, I hear that man frightened.
You know what I'm saying? What? I'm gonna tell you him. You know, so I think creatively I was allowed to be limitless. And like kung fu movie, you know Jamaica and we're obsession with like kung fu movies, Approaching Tiger. I can know for the movies we made kung fu films back in that day. And we were just allowed to just be. And I think that just gave me this limitless understanding of, just the kind of unlimited creativity to dream and imagine worlds and like putting Black people at the center. Like I remember even coming back to England and my brethren was like, yo, so we say, yeah, I make some Black film, yeah? And in my head, I was like, nah. In my head, in Jamaica, Black film is like Tyler Perry movie or like Woolpacker movie, you know, like Best Man. Them the thing. I'm commenting there, bro. You know, that's what Black film made. I only understood Black film from a perspective of Americanness. But obviously, every film we ever make was a Black film. Purely because we in there. But I never addressed issues or like whenever they try to make a movie about a societal nothing. It was just you were in there, Randy. We just had to do a thing. You get me?
Yeah, we just had to do a thing. I make joke and I do vibes. I play room guitar.
You know what I mean? So that was that, but they were Black films. I just never even think about that. So it's only in coming to England now and seeing like the UK society, I'm gonna say, these are the racism something there. I said, okay, no man, I was like, no man, I don't like this. Like, oh good. Which is probably why I wrote Dreaming Was Black in the way it did, because there was this foreignness to it that I had, in that I'm like, this is weird. Like, this no make sense. Like, Wagwan, you get me? So I guess it gave me that fresh, like, perspective on it versus like Black British people who grew up in it. It's almost like half of the thing them become normalized. But me, I step in and I hear my brethren, and Kwabena is actually even based on our friend's name. Like, yeah, but like me meet him and him name Kwabena cool. And then Tutu's me hear my chat. Kay, huh? Who's that? Who's Kobe? Brother, I swear you tell me say your name Kwabena. I was like, yeah, bro, you know, it's just long, innit? And I was like, oh, so me, but one man that grew up with that. So it was that kind of foreignness to this ism. I said, wait, no. We need to talk about this. Oh, nobody not talk about this. Like, this crazy. You know what I mean? That probably sparked the show. But yeah, growing up, there was just this freedom, man. That's all I can think back about. And that's the word that I have for it, because there wasn't any limits on. Like, Jamaica is I know Jamaican people love hype up themselves, but like, it is truly a limitless, a creatively limitless place. Like, the man in my day, everything.
Literally. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So yeah.
Why? Yeah, honest to God, like, even now post Melissa, you can see people still have a creative to try and make life work. You know, the hardest and roughest situation. I tell you that I'm going to go down there into the countryside for do some volunteer work. And yeah, people make it work regardless. Anything you get in them thankful for it, you understand the stress, but everybody's creativity is literally at the roots of how we live, because we have to do it one for survive, then we do it for thrive. That's basically it. And we
Yeah.
just turn on, as we said, turn on and make fashion from
Right.
very young. So we've just been grounded in a way that we have to think multilaterally in everything that we do, which is kind of why we now can wear different hats, you know,
And that's the thing,
sequentially.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we're a culture that has just gone through hardship so many times that we know that, we can come out of this because we've done this so many times. No matter how hard it gets, we're going to just figure it out.
We talked a little bit about the past and a little bit about growing up. Let's talk a little bit about just your transition, because I feel that it's important to talk about the move from architecture to filmmaking. Similarly, myself, I had a mother who was a teacher, and she did not, when I told her I wanted to do art in fourth form, she was like, hell no, you're doing business, because business and art were in the same, stream column where you had to pick a 9th grade. She said, hell no, you're not going to go draw nothing in a Mr. Hassan class. You're going to go do business, and you figure that out by your part-time.
Yeah, that's true.
So I went and I did IT in college, and then
the stream thing.
I went straight into photography, and that's how I met you guys, you and Henry them. And yeah, so that's how I met you guys. So I want to talk about
career racing.
Yeah, I want to talk about just like that switch. What was it like, from then working as a studying architecture and then transitioning to film?
Yeah. Well, for me, it personally felt freeing, but for everybody around me, it's never me have the problem. It's everybody else they have the problem. You know what I mean? Yeah, I left the safe work of, safe quote unquote work of architecture, even though the firm that I was working at, they end up shut down, to go do this film thing. And it's like, well, what is this? Because remember, at first it was photography that I'm starting at. And just to make money, we used to shoot pictures at parties. You know what I mean? And that was the bread and butter. Then it was like, I come up with comedy sketches. And for a long time, the concern was, and I get it, I think my mom's concern or my family's concern was like, dog, how you gonna take care of yourself? Like, how you pay your rent? Because right now you live for your auntie couch. Like, how you gonna actually pay rent? How you gonna build a life for yourself? I do this thing where nobody no do. Nobody them no know do this thing. And it's funny because we even have a cousin where they work at EVJ, but still they was like, but how you do it though? Because everybody can work at EVJ. You get me?
Yeah.
So there was that pressure, but I felt like that pressure always just made me lean in more. Because I'm just stubborn like that. Like, me just not like people tell me some can't do things. The worst thing. And I feel like if they say, great, do your thing, like, I want you to thrive. Like, yeah. But be like, I can't bother dog. Like, me try it. Let's go back to architecture. But because I'm so gung-ho, this is a bad idea. You're wasting your life. I was like, no, I'm going to have to prove them. Get to a point where you're like, I can't even turn back now. Can I turn back now?
Do you ever prove them right?
Like, why, Johnny, say, you long time, say these are things and I work out. I was just making
yeah. So how did you really convince her? How did you convince your mother, especially, that this was the right thing?
Probably never convinced her till the show dropped, really. Because before that point, like, you don't get paid much. You know what I mean? Like, the money people don't talk about that. You don't actually get paid that much money for do this. At my level. But it was only, I remember one Christmas I go back, and this is after the Christmas after the show dropped. I go back home for Christmas. And my mother was like, oh, you're okay, if you want, if you need little money, like little gas money or something, I can give you a thing. And I said, no, mommy, I'm good, like, I'm good. And she's like, no, man, it's fine. I know say you're there. I know say you have to, obviously I'm there for a month, so I know say you have pay rent, even though you're not there. And I say, yo, mommy, like, big man thing, like, I'm good. like, "I'm good." And it's like, she said, "Oh, you're good?" I say, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden, she said, "Oh, I don't know, think if you go price smart, if you're going to collect some things for me."
Yeah, man.
I'm good, I'm rich.
Man.
But I think her concern was just like, yo, like, even this day, if I get a job, first question, how much I get paid?
Mm-hmm.
That's that. Like even win the BAFTA, cool. Is that cash prize? No. Okay. So if you can get more money, like what like our money, like our money when I defend. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I get it. I get it. But she was convinced when I got paid.
Well, let me ask you this, right? 'Cause I feel like I heard this before. She was the one who lent you the money to do Dreaming While I Was Black. Is that
Yeah. That's the thing.
The first one or the one no, as in like the first
web series. I'm a mother
Right.
giving money for this. And it's that weird thing of like, and that's why I'm never give her credit. It's like she don't want me to do it. But she now gonna stop me from it.
Right.
You see what I said? She's gonna say, yo, like, look, I don't think you should do this, but fine. If you're gonna do it, like,
Yeah,
do
man.
it. You get me? But
you have to rate. Let me tell you have to rate the parents that encourage the children, you know, because they don't want to see do it, you know, but in the back of their mind, them say, "Yo, well, it's better than him doing drugs." So,
right.
So, you know, him the outer road, I breed girl and I do drugs.
Right.
I
guess, and I think it was that I felt like she always saw that I was trying. So it's like, I'm not wasting time, you know, just sit down and go on weed and you know what I mean? Like, if actually I try to do something. So I think that's why she kind of left me to it. But at every point being like, oh, so I heard, you know, there's this architecture job going, you know, I don't know, you know, if you want it on the side while you're doing the, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Man, what a thing.
Yeah.
So
no, man, it's
transitioning from there now. Go to Kevin. No, go to Kevin.
Oh no, and I was just relating and saying that, you know, it's kind of a similar thing where like you're doing the film thing and then it's like the minute you say, you know, man, take up a little you know, side job to kind of bolster up the pay. And it's like as soon as you get it, you hear your mother say, "Oh, thank God, you know, glad you get that little work there because yeah," you're like, "Wow, okay." So, it's like, yeah, man, like she'd been fretting all this time and now I say nothing. But then it's like as soon as you get a little 9 to 5, it's like, "Oh, thank God." You're like, all right.
Yeah.
The old way versus the new way, people, man. People always, people who believe in the old way will always believe in the old way because it's what they know. You know, them experience it and for go out in the uncharted new is always scary. And as a parent, you know, you look out for the best for your picnic. You know, you want them to do better than you. So they are like, no, they must do what you do or something better. And if them can't even frame it in their mind for understand what it is, them never ever feel like they can truly be not afraid for just make it just into this while and then potentially become a failure. No parent wants to set back further than where them as far as them carry it. They want them to move a much further into the future. So I always get in a similar way. My mother, it took a while before my mother kind of accepted that. And in some ways, some of our journey parallels has started in photography. And my mother would not support me in what I did until I said, "Oh, yeah, I work with Junior Gang." Or, "Oh, yeah, I work with them, a big artist." When they start drop names that them recognize. And sometimes I purposefully just them so she can go back to the office and tell all her friends them because she get that little say, "Oh, yeah, him fly gone Miami and he's back Junior Gang house working on this documentary and blah 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 blah." You know, but you know that you gotta frame it in a way, a language that yeah. So moving from family reactions now, going to school and doing the master's program, and meeting Ali. Can you talk about like what that experience briefly was like, transitioning now? You've left architecture, you've gone into studying film, and you're now building that network before, getting into even just filming the web series and everything. What was that the time for you, and how was it? And you can go into even just the short graduation film he made, His Father's Son, which I had watched too. What was that period like for you, and how did it impact, I guess, the future and the making of Dreaming Was Black?
Well, to be honest, I feel like film school, the thing people ask me all the time, oh, should I go film school or not, right? And I think, look, I don't necessarily, before I made a decision to go to film school, I actually researched my favorite directors, and it was like a 50-50 split. Half of them go film school, half of them never go. But I would say for the ones that didn't go, if you looked at their like life history, they have extensive experience on set. They were on sets working. And I was like, right, so yeah, they were learning on the job, basically.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm there Jamaica, and I'll be a reality shoot set me dep on. So I'm not really learn how to make like a narrative film. So I was like, well, maybe I'm going to go to school, because I'm going to really dep on a set where I'm going to teach me how to talk to an actor, right? So that was my decision. And the thing about film school for me was, it was just that time, again, it's just that time to play and really explore. Yeah. And I guess comedy save up my money for God. I really, they're going to say, listen, I'll get every cent out of this backside, because a whole heap of money I convert. You know what I'm saying? But that was a place where I kind of started finding my voice as a filmmaker. Because you have to imagine, remember film school, yeah, every script, every acting decision, sometimes even direction, like sometimes we would be directing actors with our tutor there, and they would challenge the note that we give the actor. You know what I'm saying? Like, would I tell the actor the note, and then say, oh, why you tell him that? I say, bro, like, but I had to find myself and find my voice in that. You know, even from a racialized perspective. Again, I was the only black youth in my film school, in my year group. But I remember when I was working on His Father's Son, because, His Father's Son is about a kid who's trying to be seen as a man, a 16-year-old kid who's trying to be seen as a man to his dad, right? So obviously the dad is the kind of like antagonist. But it's an interracial family. Cool. So by nature, the mom and the son cool. The dad and the son not cool. The mom is white, dad is black. Right? And I remember my tutor saying to me, look, here's the thing. He was like, bro, you're the only black guy here. Whatever you say about black people will believe, because you've said it. So just be mindful. Yes, he needs to be the antagonist, but you have to humanize him. Like, try a draft for the film from his perspective. Because if you don't humanize him, this is what you're going to tell to all of us. This is black people. Yeah. And that really made me think about the importance of representation from a minority point of view. And even on a global standpoint, as Jamaicans, as a minority of the world, in terms of how we showcase ourselves is what the world will believe of us, because we are the people. You get me? And that really forced me in that film to humanize, as much as he was the antagonist, to really delve deep and like, yo, but why does he always why does he childify, or like, why does he lowbrow his kid in that way and never respect him as an adult? Like, why? Like, what stops him from doing that? Like, you know what I mean? So that at least there was genuine and relatable motivation behind his antagonism. You get me? And that for me it just made me think about my position as a Jamaican, my position as a black person in the UK, but my position as a Jamaican in the world. And so that really helped me like find my voice of like, well, how do I want to tell stories, and what kind of stories do I want to tell about us? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting because I remember having a conversation with a filmmaker. I know he's a filmmaker from the ghetto. Him love doing, them little gunman stories. And one of the things I was saying to him is that, are those the only stories you want to tell about the ghetto? Like, why not tell a love story or whatever? And he was like, love story? We don't have love story in the ghetto. And in my head, I'm there saying, but when you keep doing these films that is just gunman story, people are going to believe that the only thing in a ghetto is just gunman, like every single story is.
And the
Oh,
only thing in Jamaica is just God
yeah,
ghetto and gunman.
yeah, man, it's like, I want to become a DJ and I go a studio and try to become a DJ, but the producer not like me, so I never boss. So I now take up the gun and start the drugs. And like, if you keep telling that story, that's all they're going to believe. And you telling me that there's no love stories in the ghetto. You tell me, say, ghetto people don't fall in love. I'm like, is that what you truly want people to believe? So it's very interesting that you make that point. Because I never even really look on it that way, that if we tell the story, people are going to believe it. And we see it every day when you're watching those like YouTube videos where it's just like, shatter this, shatter that, shatter this. You start believe, so okay, it look like that's all that go on in a ghetto. Because that's what them said. And them will tell you, them say, boy, brother, that my life every day, not that me say every day. I'm like, okay.
Unscripted Sundays, fresh stories, raw talent, real reactions.
Unscripted Sundays is brought to you by the Lascochin Foundation, Johnny Live Production, Rhythm FM, and the Anouvue Collective.
Yeah, and just to challenge that, like, it's not.
It's not. It can be.
Like, in the sense of like we can quantify the murder rate, we can quantify the shooting rate, like, you know what I mean? So, but not only that though, I think sometimes, and again, I've seen it in film school, where in the push for drama, because story is drama is stakes is conflict. How do you escalate conflict? The easiest way to escalate conflict is the most obvious thing, right? And that's why you get caricature versions of Black people here, because it's like, okay, drama, Black, drama, poor, drama, single mom, drama, drug abuse, drama. You just throw everything on there. Drama. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. Like, I wrote a script about this guy. He's like living a dual life, family man, but at the same time doing crime on the side. And it's something that he started from before and just can't get out of. And when somebody asked me, what kind of crime is he doing? And I was like, he's basically a fixer. So he's not actually doing the crime. He's helping people cover it up. So they need to ship this illegal stuff over there. Him help them out. Him have a construction company. Him can hide them in the truck when him move the cement. You kill somebody, you need to hide the body. All right, we are put up a building tomorrow. We'll, put them in the foundation so nobody can't find them. And then literally somebody who, was volunteering to help me with the writing, they're like, why would I just make him do drugs? And I'm like, we're not tired to hear about drugs and guns. Like, every crime show is drugs. There are other crimes out there we're not talking about.
So here's the thing, though. Don't get me wrong, because in the same way in England, like, crime drama is the most successful genre.
Yeah.
If I turn on TV right now, there is. First 5 minutes, somebody dead. The rest of the show, find out who killed the person.
Right.
Like, there's an appetite for it.
Yeah, for sure.
No. However, I do think that we need to find our way through it. And whatever way we do find through it, we need to humanize our way through it.
Right.
I think there's something to be said, like, of that humanity in it. That we're trying to find. That is our responsibility to do.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
But like, Scorsese makes gangster films. Let's be honest. Like, that's what he does. He makes gangster stuff.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the label. Like, Scorsese making an entire career of Italian gangster films does not say Italians are only gangsters.
Right.
because them not have the racism on it. Whereas if Spike Lee only made gangster movies, you would hear how Brooklyn is just full of gun gangbang. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just something to be careful of.
No, for sure. For sure.
All right. So, on that same note, I wanted to talk about like just how for Dreaming Whilst Black, one of the things that was like that stood out about the show in its first season was just how the honesty was wrapped in humor when you talk about racism and microaggressions and all of the cringe. And just kind of how that parallel, in another interview, you talked about like how the circumstances were drawn from real life circumstances, but they might be tweaked to kind of give, some grounding to make it actually work on camera and in the episode and in the story. So I guess in a similar way as we talk about like taking art imitate lives and life imitate art from a bigger picture, is there a particular moment in season 1 or 2 that you'd want to kind of talk about that was pulled from a real life experience and how that can kind of solidify how we can craft our own visual languages by pulling from different areas of our lives and our experiences?
There's not even a single moment, bro. Because we don't make up racist joke. We actually don't. So any racialized joke like eating your food at lunch in the office. Most of it, bro. Most of it is someone to somebody, not me, somebody. So I can't even. I try to think of a specific, but I'm like, bro, you probably could just pull a random thing. And remember when either me do it or somebody, Ali do it or somebody. So I can't really say, like, we have a joke that Dreaming Was Black's a documentary. Every season it proves this joke fact that we just even when we not got through the thing yet, and then somebody got through it like 6 months later. So like it just it unfortunately keeps proving us right. Whether we like it or not.
All right, facts. All right, well, let's talk about then. Let's talk more about Jamaica and your work. Now, one of the things that did even in season 1, 2 is just like an inclusion of a lot of Jamaican music and so on. Going between the 2 seasons now, and maybe in the future work that you do, how can you talk about like how Jamaica as an identity live inside your work? I know, best bless the famous Chappie who would talk about our cinematic language and film and in developing that even in the diasporic spaces, that's something we try to kind of look for. So I guess just kind of briefly talk about like how does Jamaica live inside your work even when the story isn't necessarily set in Jamaica, and I guess you can kind of go into like what do you think Jamaica needs to do on the tail end to become a stronger Caribbean or global film player?
I mean that second piece is a whole other piece. I didn't tackle
that.
Yeah. The thing is, again, stories are birthed from within, and Jamaica is within. So even when not being myself, I somehow Jamaica end up come out. So like even in Doctor Who, I remember getting Doctor Who and I was like, all right, cool, sick. You know what I mean? Again, Doctor Who not really play with geopolitical stuff like reality, right? It's a space travel show. So right, Black British guy, don't matter where he come from. But I remember the director was also Jamaican, right? Aneta. So as soon as she come to me, she was like, yo, doc, so like, more would do something, but me not sure what we're gonna do yet. Just go on, have that go on circling in your brain. Is even soon coming. And like couple weeks into the shoot, she come back and said, right, yo, so you see that scene here? Like more improv a line. Like we could just try something. And I don't remember because it's like the dialects that like them come for kill me and then we end up like dash it and then like kill each other, boom bam. And when I say, yo, you think you can kill Rasta? And she was like, that's it. That's how That's all. And that's the only patois in the whole thing. Like my character have no Jamaican reference or nothing except that one line. You know what I mean? And that became like the line. You know, even when I not try do a Caribbean thing, I end up with something. But I do try to be intentional with the work that I write to represent the Caribbean, and specifically to not just Jamaica actually, but the Caribbean in my work, in just again in a humanizing way. So I'm not going to idolize us and be like we're perfect, but we're not gonna vilify us neither. So even though like Kwame's uncle is a tyrant, is like, but he's human. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's important, and the more I make work, the closer I'm trying to go home. Like the goal is to like make stuff in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm slowly plot that route there. And in terms of what Jamaica can do, man, I've been thinking about this a lot. Because there's no reason why Jamaica shouldn't be a major player in the global industry. Like our culture is mainstream. You get me? Music is mainstream. You go anywhere in the globe, you're going to hear reggae, you're going to hear Bob Marley. You go anywhere in the globe, them know Usain Bolt, them know dancehall. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like our cultural impact is undeniable. And it translates in music. As I said, our reggae artists can tour all over the world and sell out show. So there's no reason why another art form shouldn't be able to do this. And I do think a mistake that we've somewhat made is say, oh, music does great, so let's make a film about music. And I'm like, no. If that's no. That's not it. Like, what is it about me? Because Usain Bolt is also great. It's like, but actually, Tyson Gay, all of them American fast guys don't get the shine what Usain Bolt get. Because Usain Bolt, he exudes our culture, our confidence, our like flamboyance. Like the bravado, he exudes, and that's actually what people love. What people love about Bolt is his Jamaicanness. What people love about our music is its Jamaicanness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so don't copy and paste that to film. What we need to do as a collective is find out how do we, because dancehall, like we tell people all the time, you not truly understand dancehall till you listen dancehall in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And you hear it when you hear dancehall, with make for play. Not on Spotify, like it make for play. In Uptown Mondays, it make for play. In a little dance in a mobile where the scammer them a buy a buckle. And they say, want really see how bad Chronic Club be? Go on mobile. And what in play, make for play. You see what I'm saying? In the same way that film, like Chris Nolan films are meant to be in the IMAX. Like if you watch it outside of the IMAX, you still get the movie, you know. But when you watch it in the IMAX, you really be like,
you're like, all right, I'm sorry them at all,
like, I watch Sinners twice. I watch it once IMAX, once regular. I'm gonna watch IMAX first. When I watch it regular, I say, Jano dog, a whole heap of things just miss out. The same way. And that is the same with music. And I think that us as a collective filmmaking community need to figure out, how do we bottle this culture into a visual art form that when people watch it, them feel Jamaica. And I feel, ironically, I think it's slowly coming. Like, I think music videos actually do that. Like Jay Will, as one of our like leading music video directors of that time, was doing that. I use like me watch a Jay Will video and feel like me in the tune. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And it's just us to figure out, well, what is that narrative style that captures our culture as a people? Like, you understand French cinema. Like, when you go France, you understand. Like, these man protest. Yo, if gas go up by 2 pence, them riot, mash up everything. And when you understand French culture, you see why French cinema is so rebellious in its nature.
Right.
We've had the most waves of cinema because them man, they're disruptive by nature.
Yeah.
You get me? England is super passive. Just thus, English filmmaking is very laid back, very chill. We're not really begging for watch it. Here it is. Thank you very much. You get me? Again, Hollywood, America is the capital of capitalism. So they hit you with the sell. They're always going to give you the spectacle to grab your seats. You know, kind of grab your attention and want your money. You get me? So it's just for us as filmmakers, regardless of the story, to find a way. How do we bottle our culture to sell it? And I truly believe when we figured that out, it got shot beyond measure, because everybody loves us.
Yep.
And you go anywhere again and say you make movie, everybody know Cool Runnings. You can't tell me one person when I watch Cool Runnings. Yep.
Let me tell you something. Like, if you can, when you meet somebody abroad, you can tell whether they're a filmmaker or just an average person. If it's a filmmaker, they'll say, "Oh, you're from Jamaica? Oh, yeah, How Did They Come was so great."
Yeah, man.
But you see, they're not a filmmaker. Yo, I love Cool Runnings. And
yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I do, just to be more, my hypothesis of this, and again, I'm yet to prove it, because I want to make a film in Jamaica and test this out. Like, but in being in England, and studying cinema here, like Chronic said, you have to ask, where did the teachers get taught? You know what I'm saying? At some point, I had to reckon with, well, actually, I'm being taught how to make films in England by English people.
Right.
I don't tell English stories.
Right.
You get me? Yeah. Is that there's a Kenyan writer, Ngugi wa Thiong'o. He wrote this book called Decolonizing the Mind. And his whole concept of the book was, like, why do we force ourselves to do foreign things? Like, why is our intelligence based in English? Why, if our language is not English, why the hell are we writing in English? Russians don't write in English. French people don't write in English. Why are we writing in English? That really kind of unlocked my mind to be like, well, what is the Jamaican way of storytelling?
Right.
And that forced me to go back, like, oh, how does Miss Lou tell stories? How did Miss Lou tell stories? How did Oliver Samuels tell stories, like, back in the day? Like, how did them man tell stories? Because we are a storytelling culture.
Yeah.
And one thing I quickly realized is that genre is quite a European concept. That something is a comedy, or something is a drama, or a horror, and it's exclusively that thing, is quite a European concept.
Yeah, no, you're right, because I was doing some research on, like, story structures. And everybody know all of the famous, the popular story structures that Hollywood teaches us. And everybody will rank Save the Cat at the top of the list and all of these things, and three-act structure and everything. But then when I started to research, I said, are these only story structures, or are these just the story structures imposed on us? And then I started looking up, like, African story structures and Asian story structures. And then I realized, like, they have many different structures that nobody talks about, because their way of telling a story is completely different. And even, in fact, a story that I wrote called Old Hag, which I'm actually going to rewrite now, is just based on a folklore story that I had only heard about. I heard about it from a British woman. A British woman came here for some storytelling convention, and she have Jamaican roots, and she told the story, and I'm like, it's the first time I've ever heard about this Old Hag, but apparently it's a Jamaican folklore. And she said to me that the purpose of the story is not to basically portray this old woman as evil. The purpose of the story was to basically teach kids to respect old people. You know, it was kind of, because it starts with some kids that basically teasing this old woman and them fling a stone and bust her head, and she decides, all right, she have these special powers, and she used them against the kids and thing. And you know, it was just basically to teach kids, scare them into respecting their elders.
Yeah.
And she was telling me that many of our folklore stories were literally there to basically just keep kids in line, make them know, say, all right, rolling calf, don't go to the street at night. That's what the
Right.
purpose of the story was. Black heart man, don't talk to strangers. Don't make stranger you go whatever. Right? All of these folklores have some tie in terms of like, what is the lesson I want to give these kids, etc. And then I start looking at it and I go, that's interesting. So they're not telling stories for the purpose of necessarily entertainment.
Right.
Or to bring across a lesson that we just need to generate.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And so
It's entertainment.
yeah, and I'm looking at it and saying, what would an Oleg story look like in this day and age with the problems that we have now?
You know what I mean? And that's the thing, bro, where, again, these are the things where we're talking about, like, genre is not our thing.
Right.
We are hyphenated in our genre. Messaging has always been our, like, Dreaming Was Black, for me, was that. It was my understanding that, hang on a second, we tell stories to teach.
Yep.
Even when we don't know even when we don't know the message, we just know the Anansi story.
Exactly.
And we don't know what it means.
Exactly.
And it's that idea that wait a second. One, Jamaican stories are not genre fixated.
Right.
Two, Jamaican stories are always kind of a lesson cloaked in entertainment. And so and that's why Dreaming Was Black was that first exercise in, all right, what do I have to say first? Who am I trying to say it to second? How best can I tell them this story?
Right.
And then it's like, cool, let's talk about the isms and schisms through comedy. Bang. So you can miss it, but if you really watch it, you will kind of which is why it was even hard to get commission, because it was like, well, it's not quite comedy, it's not quite drama. We don't really understand that. You know what I mean? But that is the Jamaicanness of Dreaming Was.
Yeah, man.
It's in its storytelling. You see what I'm saying? And I do think that when we crack that code, regardless of genre, like you see South Korean cinema doing a mad thing, you know what I mean? I'm like, but I think when we crack that, it will be like South Korean cinema, where all of a sudden everything does pop off and all of a thing just like this. But we just need to figure that.
Yeah, man, we just need to figure it out.
And I have a question. So I have two things. One, I think one of the things I'd say for you, Adjani, about one of your scripts I'd read at the time, I think it was for my Jerome. You had written it in Patois, exclusive for that. And I want to, and that's what I liked about the Korean cinema, was that, look at Parasite, when Parasite dropped, and all the K-dramas, not in English, bro. They're in Korean, and you're reading subtitles. And there's a point in time when the pre-Parasite, when the industry was adamant that it has to be in English language. People don't want to watch films with subtitles. It's not going to connect, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Parasite destroyed that identity. Korean drama and Korean cinema and K is taking over all of Netflix. I feel like people need to lean in to trusting that the dialect and the language of Jamaican will transition to the diaspora and to multinational audiences. That I think as filmmakers, we need to be brave and not be fearful to away from our own cinematic and filmmaking identity. If we don't believe in it, we're not going to believe in it.
Again, let's look at music. Because one thing, let me tell you something about Dreaming Was Black, yeah? You see, when you start licensed dancehall tune, you start learn, one, who actually own the music. But two, what is the most popular dancehall song on a streaming platform? And you'd be surprised that the most popular songs
must be a Sean Paul song.
Huh?
No,
must be a Sean Paul song. Is that a Sean Paul song? It's not a Sean Paul? Wow.
What does well?
Yeah.
It's not those crossover songs. Like Sean Paul in a different category, because I mean, I think Sean Paul, at this point, Sean Paul stopped making dancehall. He made other things.
Yeah. Right.
Not him in that. But when you look at the dancehall artists who are making fusion music, like, you know, when they make the thing that kind of sound hip-hoppy, but not quite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Spice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Best songs are her most dance hall rooted songs. Anytime I think about it, dog, every dance artist who you say who try and make them transition album, how did that go? It never
Nobody know
worked.
how to hear that. Yeah, nobody know how to hear that. They want your dancehall.
I do a mad thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to hear Spice say something like it. Like,
Yeah.
it is authenticity that sells. Like, they don't want us to be them. They got their own.
Yeah.
Like, they have rappers. They don't need to come over and rap. Like,
Yeah, I mean, something that I'm always saying is that, yo, if I watch a Japanese movie because I want to see Japanese culture and I want to hear the Japanese language, I watch an African movie because I want to hear the African language, I want to see the African culture. Why do we think that people don't want to watch Jamaican movies for the Jamaican culture? You know, it's like, I don't know, it boggles me. Because I'm thinking if I label something Jamaican, people are going to say, oh, I want to check this out because I'm expecting to hear dancehall music or reggae. I expect to hear patois. I expect to see people dressing extremely fashionably. I'm expecting, but then it's like you see Uptown Cherry Gardens and everybody driving a Porsche. And then it's like, you go, is this Jamaica? I'm not sure if this is Jamaica. What are they eating? Pancakes and croissants? Wait, this ain't. What's going on here? With the Ackee saltfish and the jerk chicken. You know, and I'm not saying stereotype us, but there are certain things that, you know, you expect to see. Like, you don't want to watch a Nigerian film and them not eat falafel, what name rice? Jollof rice, and you're gonna be like, this can't be Nigeria. What is, you know?
So that, I think we just need to find a way to bottle our culture in a cinematic way. And I do think when we do that, it a go shell off. And I am attempting to, I'm still hypothesizing, you know what I'm saying? So I write a couple script set in Jamaica, like, so hopefully we can get something off the ground. And that is my goal. My goal is to find, to bottle our uniqueness in cinema. I'm like, I want to make a movie where you're in at the club, like, I want to in a dance and it feel like if we film Uptown Mondays, if I feel like when we watch it in the cinema and you hear the bass, people will be like, Bomba Clat, so the thing set? Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, man.
so
Yeah, man.
I've been trying to figure that out myself. So, but I do think when we do, that is from a crack that industry gone.
Yeah. No, true. Very, very true. And it's funny, you know, because sometimes, like, especially with the cameras we have now and the fact that, you know, a lot more people are very well versed with the camera. When I see how people shoot parties now, I'm like, yo, this would be nice to see in a film. Like, why don't we shoot our parties like this? And even to the point where sometimes I'll be like, you have a party scene. It's like, why not just actually go to the promoter of a party and say, yo, may I film a movie? Can I come and just film some scenes for this movie? Just so that it look more authentic and it don't look like a bag of extras pretending, you know, to dance to music. And you see choreography going on and you're like, that's not how our choreography looks. This, you know, like we need to see someone that jump off speaker box and we need to see, you know, the choreograph, you know, our dances and I'm not knocking what the guy name of the King of Dancehall again? Can't remember his name. But not knocking them, but that just was not Jamaican culture.
Jamaican, bro. Respectfully.
That was not it.
They are not Jamaican. And they too tempting to bottle our culture, which they weren't born in. And it feels like a great anthropological exercise of our culture. Meaning, like, watch National Geographic about some place, you're like, oh, this is very thought out. But there's a reason why it doesn't feel like it don't in your bones. Whereas, what was that film with Chris Martin? That, yes, this is not a polished film. Not a polished film at all. But there were moments in that film where I was like, this is it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is and it's that, and that's what I'm saying. It's hard to like.
Yeah, man, it's hard to pinpoint. 'Cause we just haven't reached there yet. We haven't matured to that level yet, you know. Like I was saying to somebody, you know, like somebody was asking years ago, yo, why Jamaican films just so full of trauma? And I'm like, you know what happened? We have not been able to make films, and we are just getting that out of our system. At a certain point, we're going to stop making those films and we're going to move on to something else. But it's like we have to get it out of our system. And if you look at any film history, like when Black people started making films, there's a lot of trauma stuff and thing, you know, they're just trying to get out of the system before they start saying, all right, I want to tell a relaxed story now, or I want to tell a spy story, or I want to tell a, you know, but you have to just get the trauma out first. You have to get the whatever is on your mind, you get that out the way first before you can say, all right, what's next? You know? So we just don't get there yet. We just haven't, like, even sometimes foreigners ask me the most obvious question, and I'm like, damn, you know, I don't know why we haven't done it. And they're like, that Jamaica is well known for dancehall and well known for reggae. Why we not seen a reggae movie or dancehall movie? Like, the music is not in the films. And they find it strange for a country that has birthed Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, what you call it? I call it Jamaica. Jimmy Cliff, Ken Booth, you name it. We just keep producing musical stars after musical stars, all of the Marley them, etc. And it's like, we don't have a movie about dancehall culture. Like, dancehall queen is it? That's it. And you're like, that makes sense, you know, why? And the album would be a hit.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of time, as Adjani said. And I think the industry and the ecosystem is still, I would say even the industry is still being developed. You know, we have sectors, we have pieces of the pillars of that need to build the foundation that the rest of the industry needs to sit upon. But I feel like while we have it in some places, we don't really have it equally strong in the places to really hold up and have the faith that people need to have. So like how now we see Inheritance coming through now, big local Jamaican director has done that and done that between UK and Jamaica. I mean, that now can potentially, you know, embolden more trust in us locally, mind you, for all the nuances and political and so on and wherever that exists that will still deter us from getting to that space. But I still think, you know, as we're saying with Anouvue, I think more than anything else before an industry is that filmmakers need to just make films. It doesn't matter where we are, how much money we have. We need to make films. We need to make more films. We need to make more films talking about different things and different kinds of films and show them to the world. And until we're in a space where we're constantly exercising that muscle and making films faster and putting them out faster, I feel like we're going to be kind of in the same place. But I want to throw that question back to you, Adjani. What do you think as Jamaica and Jamaicans we need to do now at this particular moment? And within the next, let's say, 3 years, what should we do as filmmakers, upcoming and active filmmakers, to push to that space we want to be at?
To be honest, like, I actually don't agree with some of what you said, because I've worked with some who worked in Jamaica and them love working in Jamaica. They were like, Jamaica, like them shoot like Top Boy, them shot like Top Boy and them thing in Jamaica. And they're like, we love shooting in Jamaica. They're like, the Jamaican crew, they're like, them man there. And I guess because England have such big health and safety regulations. So whereas Jamaica have none. So like them come to Jamaica, them say, yo, them Gaffaya, they on some different meds. Like them man just dep on anything. Shit, like, they love it. They're like, yo, Jamaican crews are great. They're like, so they have the technicians. They here. Like Jamaica has the crew. Like if they film something in Jamaica, at best, may I bring over like a costume designer. You know what I'm saying? Everybody there.
Don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we don't have the talent, you know. We have the talent. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, so what I think is the next step, it is, I actually do think it is the writers and the directors.
Yeah.
Because everybody else have the thing locked and is proof as to when other people come down. When other people come to Jamaica, nobody have a problem with Jamaican crew. Bob Marley, again, I was talking with the crews who worked on Bob Marley, and they were like, they love the Jamaican crew. You get me? So even at a Hollywood level, everybody love working with Jamaican technicians and practitioners.
Yeah, man.
You get me? I really think is the writers and the directors. And again, we did there Jamaica Christmas. He did, obviously, Randy did there. I went to like two film showcases of short films, right? And obviously that is now like over 10 years after I was making short films in Jamaica. And I was like, I can see the storytelling I get better. Yeah. You get me? But I'm like, actually the technicians are further ahead.
Because everything looks good. Yeah.
Right. The thing, because that's when I watch short films like Christmas, everybody thing look clean.
Yeah, man. Everybody thing look good.
Everybody thing look good. And I'm like, actually, the only thing where I miss it, like my feedback on most of these things was, I'm like, actually, I think this is a scripts issue. Everybody else did the job. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that can only be improved by making.
You
have to just keep churning them out. Churn out the short films. Churn out the... Again, the only other thing that I said is we have to find a collective way of making films.
Yep.
Like, I understand everybody needs to get paid. Everybody, I get it. Everybody have rent for paid. However, we need to find some form of partner plan way to make movies. Because the only way we're going to get better is if we start churning them out.
And that's literally one of the reasons why we have this collective.
Right.
My
personal growth, bro, was film school. I made 7 films within 1 year.
Crazy.
Right, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
If you think Dreaming Was Black, the web series was 9 episodes, which all were like completely different. So then it was, I made 9 more short films in 2 years.
Right.
Like, my growth has come from constantly making stuff. And I'm like, that's the fun. And in my experience, like I tell my friends all the time, they're like, you have to put out the work. Even you can write a script. Even though I'm always an advocate for writing another draft, you can write a million drafts. Unless you film that thing and put it to an audience, you don't know what right or wrong.
True. Very true.
We just gotta keep doing that. And find a more economical way, because I get it, it's expensive for film, but we need to find a more economical way for just trying to talk, because that's how our voice will like grow. But that's what I would say is just make the stuff. Just keep writers hone that pen, directors hone that visual language.
Yeah.
So everybody else are weird part way.
Yeah. Straight. But all right, cool. So on some of the last notes, let's talk about like, season 2 of Dreaming Was Black is complete. I'm not sure. Did it get renewed for a 3rd season? What's next? I know you talked about Gabby as a sitcom you're working on. And then, we've talked about stuff that you want to do in Jamaica. Is there anything in the pipe? What's next for Dreaming Was Black? What next are you working on? And what's next? We want to see you do something in Jamaica. So,
working on it.
And Adjani, I just want to say this from now. I would like to understudy as a director for even one of those days that you are shooting. So may I just put that down right now.
We'll try. Like, so what's immediate with Dreaming Was Black is Dreaming Was Black is out on SHOWTIME and Paramount Plus in America on February 20th. The episodes are coming out weekly. So everybody who in America, lock in. Jamaica, VPN the thing, lock in. You understand what I say? With the future of Dreaming Was Black, who knows, man? Like, this thing is viewership, you get me? So if the thing do well, boom, I'm sure it's ever gone again. And to be honest, we've been having early conversations about, well, what else? Are there any stories within the world that we could tell? Because everybody kind of loved the world that we've created. So again, thinking about that, but obviously that's like super early stages. In regards to me outside of Dreaming Whilst Black, is it me I work on a sitcom, me I work on a movie, I'm in active development for a film. I write a pilot set in Jamaica, which if this got up, yo!
All right, tell us, what genre? What genre? If you have a genre specific.
It is a crime action drama.
All right, mad thing. Continue.
And if we get this off the ground, yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
I'm mad.
The thing, load. If it's that. But also just working on, I've been trying to develop a few features in Jamaica, like just, so again, but that's the thing about things when we can film in Jamaica, like, I try to develop two independently now, just with myself. Like, I love to shoot a rom-com in Jamaica. I feel like it's time to up.
Yeah, man.
Still, I got her,
bro. I love rom-coms in a dog. But I love, yo.
That Stella, but not Tay Diggs pretending to be Jamaican.
Yep. Stella.
Yeah. Like, we need a new, like, an even genre. Like, me that talk to a British man, I was like, yo, I actually want to make a horror movie like a comedy horror in Jamaica. Again, Jamaica is not a serious place. So, like,
it's not.
A horror in Jamaica can't be serious because it just, like, we wouldn't take it seriously. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just like, what would that look like? So, as I say, I'm back at my original place of like creative freedom and just seeing like what else we could I do, like. So yeah, man, may I work on it.
All right, bless. All right, so the last question I will ask, and I'll throw the last questions over to you after that, Kevin. I know you talked about a little bit about it and just like what we can do, but just some more insight. A New View is really a collective of filmmakers, actors, DOPs, producers, directors, writers, who are just, emboldened to kind of see how we can make more films to better our craft and to kind of continue to craft the cinematic language. And we've been doing that for a couple of years now. We haven't reached the cadence that we want to as yet. But what we do believe in is paying it forward and helping each other. So in what message, I guess, you would have for, people of the Anouvue group and people like them who will want to, take some kind of morsel or golden nugget or a little something that you can give them. Give us something, a message you can leave just for people who are hungry for it.
Two things I would say, as I will always say, well, three things. One, write a new draft. Whatever draft you're on, write another one. I promise you, it's just going to get better. Like, film is the peculiar art form where the minute you start filming, you can't turn back. Well, not even we. Not Dreaming Whilst Black shoot on a budget, but we can't refilm nothing. We can't reshoot nothing. We not have budget for reshoot nothing. You can rewrite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can keep rewriting. So just finesse it on that page. One. Two, I would say fail fast. Like, the faster you make films, the more lessons you'll learn. And like I said, Randy, like when we met, we made, like, the exponential growth that I've had in film was in the churning out. Like, when we met, I made 13 sketches in a summer. Once a week for 13 weeks straight. I learned so much in that time. That was my first, like, boom of growth, right? And then the second growth was film school, 7 films 1 year. The third growth, web series, 9 short films 2 years. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's the speed in which you fail, you grow fast. So don't think about it. As I say, the DP them at Jamaica, good. We don't want them a DP. We don't want them a sound man. We don't want them like, the man them good. Them know what to do, them want to do. Are you where we can? Like, you get me? Like, turn them scripts out, make them films. Secondly, thirdly, what I would say, which is what DOP once told me, was he was like, study life. Film is not about film. Film is about life.
Right.
So if you want to make a good film, you have to understand life, not film. Right? And so it's like, study the different art forms that tell you about life. So whether that be sociology, anthropology, architecture, art, music, paintings, fine art, like poetry. Like, I study other art disciplines because by nature, film is a compilation of other art disciplines. You get me? So like, I read poetry books because scripts is all about how can you say this action in the shortest amount of words. So I'm like, I read poetry books because I'm like, well, let me study the art form that does give me an emotional impact in phrases. Right? Cool. It's like, I study, not necessarily study. I don't want to say I study music. I'm going to dissect like notes and everything there. But like, when I hear a song that makes me feel a certain way, but try run it on repeat and be like, yo, what about that song, yeah? Give me that. Like, for example, like the new What You Feel Like rhythm.
Yeah, then what you feel like. Yeah.
You see, Uptown Badness, Chronic Loss, is something about that one day. Mr. What about that tune, yeah? And like, literally just listen to us over and over. And I realized that actually, DJ Mac then tweaked, his beat is slightly tweaked. And it's just this little edge. It had this like rumbling in the beginning, almost quite cinematic of like you feel something. And I was like, but understand music. Like, what is it about other art forms that make us feel so that when you're now writing scripts, like, put that into the work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you wouldn't necessarily say, oh no, that means that the score never have that rumble, but you understand that idea of that something subconsciously bubbling in the back. And it's like, well, how do I translate that? But yeah, study life, man. Read.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people to them for go down a Coronation Market, go buy food. Kind of go down there, walk there, look. Brother, you know what's happening? Go down a wholesale on a Gibbo and Master Mac and stand up and we just watch people, brethren. And I'm like, yo. So you just hear how people actually live and breathe in a real way. You have to expose yourself to life. So that's a real good
man. No, I was even saying to somebody, a student yesterday, I was saying to them, because we were talking about color grading. And one of them was saying that they just love Bridgerton, and like it really made them feel like they were in the Renaissance period and so on. And I was saying to them, say, boy, you see, the colorists that can, and the wardrobe people and all those people who can make you feel like you're back in those days, a lot of them study the paintings from that time and the colors that are used from that time, so that even if it never actually looks so, the fact that you've seen these paintings before, when you see a film in those same palettes, your mind tell you, say, oh, that's what it looked like back then. Or when you watch a cowboy show, and cowboy show have a certain color, your mind tell you, say, oh, that's what it looked like back then, because maybe you saw a picture of cowboys in a book and the picture quality did look like this. In your mind, that's how it look.
That person saying about color grading and Bridgerton, obviously, it's in season 2, we make a spoof of Bridgerton. Right?
yes, I think that's
a Regency colorblind casting. And here's the thing. When we and the DP sit down and dissect Bridgerton cinematography, it's actually quite generic. And the production designer.
Yeah, the production designer.
It's actually lit quite like neutral.
Right, yeah.
But the production designer, they're on a mad thing. The costume designer, like it's the costume design and the production design who do the heavy lifting in and then the lighting team just come in and just light it.
Right.
Like
pictures and colors are already there.
Cool. So even that, I'm like, is the dissecting of really understanding, like, yo, but again, you wouldn't, production design is architecture. You see what I'm saying? Like costume design is fashion. So that's what I'm saying about studying the different disciplines and being like, right, how can I put that in to a script? It's understanding, like, again, even for me, like being in spaces, like wearing baggy, like, again, I've done like now, like these, award things.
Yeah.
Wearing a baggy suit versus a sock on floor.
Let me tell you something. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got this. The reason why I'm glad you got this, I was just about to say, when you look at our police officers and like you look at like police officers in the United States or even in the UK, there's a lot of culture there, because when you watch the American police, them look like military, right? And America is a very militaristic country, right? Them always thinking about war. Our culture is a dancehall culture. We love wear tight pants and look sleek. So you look at the policeman, they look like they're ready for go dance, You don't just take off.
But everyone of them, I'm the one who get red team them in the lineup.
Man, them fashionable.
Country. The man police uniform look sharp.
And the thing is, it's a marketing thing, because when you see the policeman them now, like you hear the woman them go, the policeman them, it look nice. And the thing is, and it makes the policemen feel really good. Like you can see the policeman them feel proud now. Like when they did in a red suit, they felt oppressed. They felt, boy, I'm doing the crown's duties, No, the man them feel themselves, man. Like the police officer, they're confident.
Too much power them have now, that's the problem. When you for balance the scale, put them making some bullet suit, or something else, sure. But man.
But the whole thing about type it in, go through.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, we can finish your thought, but I wanted to just jump in to say, if you have any last thoughts you wanted to drop in to wrap up before we wrap up, this is the time to do some of that.
Boy, no, man, I think Adjani has given us a lot of nuggets, a lot of nuggets. And I mean, the fail fast is very, very important. I think that's the most key one, especially, I'm saying, the volume of work. You need to write another draft, but you need to shoot. And I remember Chris Brown is saying this years ago to him, say, I don't remember which movie he shot. I think it was probably Get a Life. And people are asking him, so, all right, what made you do Get a Life? And him say, I have a lot of scripts just sitting down and I'm always writing a new script. And then Virgin just come to him and say, when are you going to shoot one of them? Like, you need to shoot something. And him said, you know what? I'm not write no more script until I shoot another film. And then, that kind of pushed him to shoot it, because like, we had to write script and just put on, like, what I write script for? Because we're professionals now, right? Or professionals, however you want to put it. I think we get in our heads too much. And we feel like, because I don't have this money, and because I don't have this camera, and because I don't have this light, and because I don't have this lens, we can't shoot it yet. And 2 years pass and you still not shoot it. 3 years pass and you still not shoot it. And then year 4, somebody shoot the same idea you have. I said, them thief my idea. And I know you don't want to shoot it again. And it's like, all right, now back to the drawing board, you start over for it. So you're going to wait another 4 years? Like, you get it shot. So that I really appreciate. And that's my last sentiment.
Yeah. Adjani, any final closing thoughts before we wrap up?
No, man, just keep making stuff. Just keep making stuff, honestly. And keep, for everybody, I guess, in the community, like, don't try to be anybody else except ourselves. Like, don't try to make American stuff. Don't try to make British stuff. Just make do one thing. And I'd figure out what that is, because I genuinely think that is what will sell. That is when we'll unlock our true potential as an industry.
Hunting. All right, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. Like, honestly, we've touched on a lot of stuff, and I even had more things we could have touched on, but we leave that after you make the Yaka Father Jamaica and you make that piece there, then we'll do a next one.
Our next one.
Yeah, man.
Then we'll do our next one.
And Adjani, if you don't direct the whatever you're shooting in Jamaica, if it's just writing, I can be the stenographer. I can just be in the writing room and just write down what I talk about. And when you say, Kevin, what was going to do in episode 1 again? You said you were gonna kill Jeffrey in the pool. Yeah, I'll be that guy. Yeah, I'll be that guy.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on another amazing episode of the Anouvue Podcast. We have more coming up for you. Thanks to Adjani, thanks to Kevin, thanks to the great team, and just keep posted. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Follow us
hold
on socials, eh?
Yeah. Socials, the socials, you might put up on screen.
Yeah, man.
End card. Yeah. Lecky will handle all of that. Big up yourself, Lecky.
One bonnet ras.
One bonnet ras.
Thank you for listening to the Anouvue Podcast. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want more information on today's episode, check the show notes below if you are on a podcast platform, or the description if you are on YouTube. See you next episode.